días. How are you?
Hey, how are you?
Hola.
Hola. You're a monster. Wow. And now I see you, Tommy, and I feel like I'm missing a little bit of the monster.
I know, I'm sorry. I just didn't have time to put it on today.
Okay, curious. How long did it take to prep?
It's about four and a half hours in the morning, and then about an hour to get off. Getting it off feels great, though. It's like going to a spa.
Well, Melissa, he stole your thunder in the makeup room, it seems and sounds like.
Well, actually, it was the best shoot ever because normally women have to wake up earlier because we're in the chair for longer, and then guys just show up in 15 minutes and they're ready on set. And so this time for this shoot, Tommy was the one that had to do that, and I got to sleep in. So I loved it.
Yeah, monsters have to show up the earliest.
Yeah.
So tell me about the monster that says he's a monster, but he's not a monster.
Yeah, I mean that's Caroline Lindy, the director, and I talked about this getting into it. That like playing monster would be kind of like a hat on a hat. Like once you've got that amazing prosthetic and the hair and everything, that does all the monster work for you, and then it's just being this entity that is a multitude of things, right? He's cranky and snarky, but he's also a hopeless romantic. You find out he's not afraid to cry. In terms of an acting gig, I got to play so many things under the guise of monster. So he looks like a monster, yeah, but he's not
There's
a monster.
so many monsters in this movie, actually, and it turns out that the least monster-like of all of them is the guy that plays the monster. She has an ex-boyfriend that's more of a monster than the monster.
Yeah, Caroline always talked about Laura being surrounded by monsters, both literal and otherwise. Maisie's kind of a monster as a friend, and
The mom, too.
well, spoiler alert.
But Melissa, tell me about Laura, because we get to see her find her inner monster.
Yeah, that's I think the message of the movie is allowing yourself to fall in love with all the ugly parts of you that you hide and that you suppress and that you lock away in the closet, and giving ourselves permission to be loud and be messy and show ourselves fully to the people around us so that they know all of us. And also I feel like that's empowering, like allowing yourself to exist in your entirety, if that's even how you say it. Yeah. Is a very brave but also, freeing. So that's, the journey that Laura is on, and that monster is kind of guiding her through.
And tell me about the experience of doing a film that's very theater-like.
Oh, it was amazing. It was amazing.
I didn't get to do that stuff.
But we got to. So
That's not true. I did. Yeah. I had a day in the theater.
Yeah, but there's a play or a musical within the movie, but also the experience of shooting it felt very theatrical, because even when we were in the house and we would be blocking and we would be rehearsing the scenes prior to shooting them, the entire crew would be like peeking in the doorways and wanting to watch, because everyone was so invested in the story, and it was so funny a lot of the time that we'd be shooting and we'd hear laughter outside of the room, and that felt very theatrical as well. So it felt very appropriate to.
And Caroline, our director, is someone who you really want to perform for. And when we're doing those romantic bits, if you could get Caroline, off behind the monitor to squeal and kind of clap, then you knew you were onto something. And we spent the movie chasing that feeling. I'm going to eat my words. I get to do an entire Shakespeare monologue in the middle of this movie, so it is very theatrical.
Yeah.
Speaking of Shakespeare, did that give you curiosity to open in a little deeper into that, to bring it to the film?
Yeah, I mean, I remember when, this movie asks a lot of both of us, more of Melissa. I mean, thank God they didn't ask me to sing in this. But when
you sing a little bit.
Yeah. The Shakespeare, I don't think appeared in the early drafts. And then, I got, the week before shooting, all of a sudden, this big chunk of Shakespearean text. I thought, oh my God, I'm going to get my money's worth from this one. But I love it. I also think that's really a linchpin scene for that movie. I'm like, if we can pull that off, if after all this silliness and the kind of fun, bubbly stuff, snarky tennis match that these two have for the first part of the movie, if we can get to that, and this monster can get on his knee and deliver a swoon-worthy, Shakespearean monologue, and they go for it, then we're on to something. And sitting in the theater, you can kind of feel it, and at least for me, when I sit through this movie, I can finally breathe when that scene works and think, okay, they're taking this ride with us. If that scene works, then the whole movie works. So it's a really important piece of this.
The movie definitely worked even from the beginning, put on a happy face in the middle song in the middle of Laura's life, feeling like it's falling apart.
Right.
Yep. Brilliant. I mean, that's all, because Caroline is so specific about every choice that she makes, like every editing choice, every musical choice, like everything. She knew exactly what she wanted. And I think, there's a little bit of, like, the movie feels a little bit nostalgic of like old rom-coms. And, from the look of it to the musical choices to the wardrobe, like everything about it kind of feels atemporal. And if it wasn't for the iPhones,
Yeah.
I feel like you wouldn't know when this is taking place, which is, I think, the goal. Like, we wanted this to kind of be a rom-com that could withstand the test of time. So hopefully people like it.
They will. Well, thank you so much and congratulations. Felicidades.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Muchas gracias.